Oh man, that was beyond crap hole. Whew. And I'm out of practice on my handgun. Wow. And I should add, hang on, and I should add, I'm aiming at a 6-inch target from 8 yard, little bit over 8 yards away. That's 10 yards on the other side of that barrel. And 6 inches from this distance, you're asking a lot under stress. 2 shots, you're asking a lot under stress. Hey guys, welcome back to the range. Today I wanted to do a video to respond. By the way, if you guys are wondering, this isn't a drill. I'm just kind of working up part-times for, well, this is gonna be a drill. And I'm just kind of working up part-times for something. So I'll show it to you guys later. This is a video in response to a comment made by Abanez172020. This is for you, man. I was asked why I don't run a weapon light on my everyday carry handgun. And this is something that comes up from time to time, and because there are so many people coming to the channel, new people coming to the channel, and new firearms owners, period. I can tell by your comments and questions that you're brand spanking new. By the way, guys, if you're a new shooter, just say it. Don't pose your questions as comments and try to act like you're talking from a basis of knowledge. People like me can read right through it. Just say, look, I'm new. I don't know what the crap I'm doing. I need guidance. I'm happy to help you. You'll notice this is not a monetized channel. Okay? There are no commercials here. So this channel is for the love of sharing knowledge. That's why this channel exists. Okay, the answer to the question why I don't carry a handgun light is because I realize if I say what I want to say, I'm going to open up like 5 rabbit trails. So I'm going to put it this way. I choose not to carry a handgun light on my handgun because I carried a handgun light for years on my handgun and found that it created more problems than solved problems. Right now, someone just started in the comment section, hang on, eat some Hot Pockets before, just hang on. What I mean by that is, I am one of those people in the firearms training industry and in the social media space who has obscenely high levels of training. It's a rarity. It really is a rarity in social media to actually find an accomplished student/instructor who can actually demonstrate for you a training resume that is literally that thick. And we're talking single, well, about that thick. Single leaflets of paper, about that thick. And so it has gotten to the point where my need to come across polite has kind of gone in the trash can, because we are so past the danger level here in America that knowledge needs to be disseminated as quickly and truthfully as possible. I choose not to carry a handgun light on my handgun because I have found so many problems in having that light, whether that be negligent discharges, accidental discharges. And yes, guys, there is a difference between an ND and an AD. A negligent discharge means, how can I put it? A negligent discharge means that I have no crap of an idea of what I'm doing with a weapon light. An accidental discharge means that I absolutely know what I'm doing with a handgun light, and an accident has still managed to occur. And the ADs are actually the ones who piss me off more than anything else. NDs are for lack of knowledge. That person is ignorant. And when I say the word ignorant, I mean it from its true Latin root, meaning unaware of. The accidental discharge is from a very knowledgeable, highly trained, highly disciplined operator who just has an accident. Whether that be the weapon gets dropped because they get into a scuffle and that weapon goes down and it hits just right and that switch pops on. and now the entire team or themselves is lit up or blinded. Or, which what happened to me years ago. Actually, yeah, I'll share this. This happened to me years ago before I learned to discipline myself to not be constantly going all negative Nancy and constantly checking my light, checking my light, checking my light, checking my light. Now, like for example, my everyday carry lights are the INFORCE TFX lights. This is the handgun light, I'm sorry, the handheld light to have. Man, this light is great. Anyways, before I had reached the point where I started trusting lights, I was always testing things, and I would test my weapon light and then I'd put the gun into the holster. And one day I was out grocery shopping with the family, and as I'm walking, I'm like, oh, man, it's hot in here, bruh. It's hot in here. Oh. And all of a sudden, yeah, some of you already know where I'm going. And all of a sudden, I just think to look down, and I realize that I can just barely see this tiny little haze of light through my pants right here. And I go, oh no, my weapon light is on. And I realize it's been on for a while, okay? And when I say while, I mean like maybe 5 minutes, which, guys, is plenty long for a weapon light to reach a danger level where it's getting so hot that things are going to go ugly. And I realize I got to get that light off. And I am in a Walmart. And for those of you who work for Walmarts, you understand what I'm talking about when I say this. Walmarts have almost as many cameras as casinos do. And so I realize I can't do this from a standing still position. I'm going to have to pick clothing racks in the men's section. And as I'm going through the clothing racks, I'm going to have to very efficiently do that. So that's what I did. I'm walking along, the clothing racks are about that high. Back when they actually had taller ones. If you guys haven't noticed, they've lowered the height of their clothing racks so that it's easier to see customers. Shoplifting. So anyways, I'm walking through and I push the cart slightly in front of me and I briefly release it. I draw the gun, I pop the light off, I put it back in, and I grab the cart and I keep going. And buddy, that sucker was hot. So I kept finding myself having issues. Guys, it wasn't for lack of training and it wasn't for lack of knowledge. It was an accident that I managed to foolishly leave that light on, and it bit me. So I know every time I say this, someone gets in the comment section and the comment always begins with, well, I think, stop. Get your own channel. Go away. Don't care. For those of you who are willing to listen to knowledge, listen to what I'm saying to you. I choose not to carry handgun lights. And I need to reach out to a friend of mine who used to be Federal Air Marshal and verify this with him. So I may do that before I release this video. For the same reason that Federal Air Marshals don't carry handgun lights. It's a concealment issue. It's also an accidental/negligent discharge issue. Those people cannot risk being identified as carrying a handgun. So one of the reasons that handgun lights are not part of the repertoire is it is a failure point. It is a signaling issue. It is a potential problem waiting to happen. So I choose to simplify. I've read a lot about Delta, and one of the things that I really like about Delta is they're pistol shooters. That's their bread and butter. And people think SEALs are, no, Delta operators are pistol shooters. And so what I have found is that the focus of what they do, one of my mentors, Ken Hackathorn, is pre-Delta. He actually helped train the people that became Delta, as in one of them being Larry Vickers. And Delta and pistol is one of the things that Ken has just constantly driven, and he's like, Abner, focus on handgun. Put the work, and he always says to me, look, you know, I know that you put the work in. He's very kind, he's very generous to me, but he's also very austere in the information that he gives me. And he says, you know, I know that you put the work in. You have reached a level of proficiency where you could probably not touch a handgun for months on end and you'd be okay. Well, I think he's right on that. I still put the work in. But handgun is absolutely bread and butter to me. It is the primary focus of what I do. And because of it, I chose to simplify all the choices based around my handgun were choices of simplicity. I chose to go with Proctor Y-notch sights. Why? Because they're so laser sharp. Proctor Y-notch sights are so good at what they do. At 8 yards, that was a dead center hit. That out there is 40-ish yards. These sights are so stinking good at sighting, no pun intended, at sighting in, locking in on an object and nailing it very quickly. Fiber optic front sight, rear notch, that literally has a Y effect to it. The bottom is narrow, the top portion kind of comes out a little bit and allows you to just funnel that red dot, because the fiber optic acts like a red dot and allows you to funnel it in. And I know I've said this before, I had LASIK surgery 6 months ago, because I actually had my 6-month checkup just a few days ago. I had LASIK surgery 6 months ago. My vision used to be 2400. Now what that means is that most regular vision people could see what I used to be able, what I had to come up to 20 feet to see, most people could see from 400 feet away. That's how bad my vision was. My visual acuity was this far without my contacts in. With my contacts in, on a good day, my vision was maybe 20/20. Maybe 20/20. But because of dual astigmatism, really bad astigmatism in my left eye, even that 20/20 wasn't great. Now I have really, really good 20/10 vision. So now it has allowed me to be far more efficient with the manipulation of my firearms. However, it also means that I have now sacrificed the ability to truly and clearly see my front sight post at arm's length. For me to see my front sight post really, truly clearly, I would have to be wearing reading glasses, which I'm not going to do. So I've had to learn to accept that now what I see of my fiber optic front sight is kind of sort of an inverted teardrop. Yeah, an inverted teardrop. And that's because there's still a little astigmatism left, but it's not as clear as it could be, and I'm cool with that because, like I said, I now have the ability to clearly see that in front of me, clear enough, see this right here in front of my face, and get the shot. And because it has now been holding for 6 months, because within less than 24 hours my vision had corrected to 20/10 and has now been holding for 6 months, I know this is pretty much what I got. I had an exceptional eye surgeon, Dr. Wolfson, here in Chattanooga. Look it up, Wolfson Eye Institute. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So anyways, the point is, I focus on the simplicity of my everyday carry handgun. I don't want a lot of fuss. I want something that is easily, that's easily usable, which is why it's a Glock. That when a Glock comes out of its holster, it's instantly ready to be used as long as it is chambered. So I make sure that I've set this gun up as simply as possible. And I know that someone's going to go, well, if you're a lefty, why is your handheld light over there? Well, because the reason my handheld light is over there is that's not my EDC light. This is my EDC light. And this EDC light is just a little Surefire rechargeable. This is a fighting light. Now, when you're dealing with darkness, once again, because I've had so much darkness training, I know that, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm so gonna go there. Because I've had so much night training, I know that there's almost always enough scattered light around you to pretty much get the job done. I've tested this so many times, it's not even funny. And I've gotten in trouble for doing it from instructors. And basically what we would do is, we would be on the line, and the instructor would say, handheld lights out! So we'd get our little handheld lights out, right? And dudes would be like, you know, they'd be doing this, they'd be doing this, they'd be doing this, they'd be doing this. And I would just leave my light in my pocket. I just left it in my pocket. And I'm like, why would I need my light? There are like 15 guys out here running light for me. And then God gave us the moon as well. And then there are the lights at the pavilion over there where we, where we jam mags and hydrate. So why would I drag my light out? I have enough scattered light to get my job done. And he'd be like, fight! And I'd go, okay, yeah, I can actually see it. That's cool, I'm actually hitting. And I would start running the drills and getting it done. And I'm like, dude, that's working. That's really, really working. And so I thought, okay, that's working the way it's supposed to, cool. And what I found was that I didn't really need to reach for my handheld light as often as I thought I needed to reach for my handheld light. So that simplified one set of steps. The other thing that happened was I realized that if I am, excuse me, if I'm reaching for a handheld light, if I'm in a position where I've got to get to something in a hurry, I would much prefer that it be my spare mag. Because the environment in which I routinely find myself in life, it is an environment where I avoid being out at night as much as possible. Having worked in night as a police officer, I know that nothing good happens past 10 p.m. Even in nice towns, nothing good happens past 10 p.m. And so I have a hard and fast rule of being indoors by 9 p.m. if possible. I don't go to sports, I don't go to concerts, I don't go to movies, I seldom ever go to restaurants because I'm vegan, gluten-free, low sodium, no processed sugars, no added fat. Yeah, so I don't really get out much. Now someone's like, well, that's a really boring life. No, dude, my life is a freaking roller coaster of fun. Okay, I get to do this out here for you guys for a living. Anyways, so these are choices I've made for myself. So by doing that, I'm reducing the need for lighting. But if I've got to get to something in a hurry, it's going to be a spare mag. And if I have to get to my handheld light for any reason, then I've trained to transfer the handgun to my support hand. Now someone's gonna, I'll just show it to you. The technique is I go from here and my shooting hand wiped it into my support hand. Thumbs over the back, support hand wipes it into the shooting hand. Thumbs over the back, support hand wipes it into the shooting hand. I'm not just going like this. I'm actually making a point to wipe it into the hand that needs to have it. So if I've got to get to my handheld light, then I pass the gun to my support hand, a handheld light comes out, and then I pass the gun back, and I'm on the weapon light, or I'm on the handheld light. To me, this is a weapon light because I've learned to, I've trained so much with handheld light in conjunction with weapon that I know how to do it seamlessly. So, I know that I'm opening up a can of worms for so many of you. I know I am, and that's not my intent. But I know that I have probably created more questions than answered questions today. It is what it is. So, in a very long form, that is why I don't carry a weapon light on my handgun. I like things as simple as I can get them to be. If you guys have any questions or comments, and my goodness, I know you do, put them below. I'll do my best to answer them. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.